Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this is Carmine Sabia for Explain America, and a lot has been made about who's going to be former President Donald Trump's vice presidential pick should he likely win the Republican nomination. Now, one of those candidates is speaking out. Before we get started, please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out, and they help our channel continue to grow. So, Elise Stefanik, who I think is probably the top contender right now to be Trump's vice presidential candidate, she was talking to Fox News, and she revealed some things about conversations she's had with President Trump. And she also went into some policy issues with the Biden administration and with what's going on with Lloyd Austin, the defense secretary, and all of that. But it was what she said about her conversations with Trump that I think caught the most attention. And she tried to breeze past it, but we got it on video. And we're going to let you see that. Before we do, I want to ask you again to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Those little things really help us out. They help our channel continue to grow. I'm Carmine Sabia for Explain America. We love you guys. God bless you. Take care, everybody.
Yeah, because it's the asylum rules and parole. When they get here, now 90% of the people who get to the border get to stay. Their court date's not for 5 or 6 years. I think you have a lot to build on there. We'll see if it'll happen. It hasn't happened since the 1880s, a cabinet official actually getting impeached. Now let's talk about something you know quite well. When you called up and asked these Ivy League presidents or these elite college presidents to come up and speak, you couldn't believe their answers when it came to anti-Semitism and the lack of support for Jewish kids on campus. Now you're trying to find out if they followed up to make sure those people that with those anti-Semitic riots actually got prosecuted, kicked off, or punished. What are you looking to do?
So this is the beginning of a very robust investigation. On Monday of this week, the head of the committee put out a document request to Harvard. They have 2 weeks to comply. The questions are very in-depth about how they address the rise of anti-Semitism on campus, whether it was disciplinary action taken. We're also looking at the offices of DEI, where we know at Harvard hundreds of students reached out, Jewish students who were concerned about the rise of anti-Semitism. They got zero response. Importantly, it's also looking at governance. The Harvard Corporation, who tried to brush this under the rug, and the fact that they tried to cover up the plagiarism scandal, which is very much tied into this because we discovered that with the scrutiny that was much deserved of Claudine Gay.
And the big problem is people think it's just 3 colleges.
It's not.
Columbia blew off your meeting. They had some ridiculous excuse. NYU's an absolute mess. And all other colleges around the country are more like Harvard than not, sadly, when it comes to this. Lastly, no doubt about it, you've emerged as a national figure on pure performance, especially when you see how prepared you are for a lot of these meetings, these hearings, and the fact you're in leadership. And you've won the respect, I know, of President Trump. Are you officially somebody that he has spoken to about possibly as a running mate?
I'm not going to get into the conversations that I have with President Trump. We speak frequently. I've said for a year now, Brian, I'm proud to be the first member of Congress to have endorsed President Trump for re-election, the first. And I would be honored to serve in a Trump administration in any capacity. But I will tell you right now, we have a lot of work ahead of us. We have a lot of work ahead of us as House Republicans. We're the last line of defense between single-party Democrat rule. I'm honored to serve as the House Republican Conference Chair. And most importantly, I represent my district every single day. And look at the scandal right now with the Secretary of Defense. I represent thousands of troops from Fort Drum, the 10th Mountain Division, who are deployed in the Middle East right now. It is unacceptable that you have a Secretary of Defense who is not transparent with the White House. So I'm looking forward to being active on that issue to deliver accountability and transparency. And I called for his resignation.
So you want him fired?
Absolutely. It has an impact on, first of all, adversaries are watching. If you look at the national security challenges around the world today, whether the Middle East on fire, whether you think about China continuing to be on the rise, continuing to watch for American weakness, this asserts American weakness, and it shows the White House has no idea what's going on. The fact that they did not know, the President of the United States did not know, it is unheard of. This is why I called for the Secretary to resign. This is why we're doing an investigation.
Pass the budget, get some border reform, and besides that, finish up strong and don't oust your speaker. Those are some of the things on your docket. Elise Stefanik, thanks so much.
Thanks.
All right, coming up straight ahead, growing fallout over Secretary Austin's health, as we just discussed.